How rare is your body? Let's find out. About 75% of people have a deviated septum, and this is a condition in which the bone and cartilage that divide the nose in half are crooked, making one nasal passage smaller than the other, and it's known to cause nosebleeds, problems breathing, or loud breathing when you're sleeping. Less than 1% of people have an extra finger crease, and it's also called camptodactyly, and it's just when you have an extra little ridge on your fingers, and it is most common on your pinky. Less than 1% of people have an eyeball scar. This is also called a macular pucker, and it's just scar tissue that forms in your eye. And it's known to cause blurred or distorted vision. And it's caused when the vitreous, which is the gel-like part of your eye, starts to pull away from the retina. Less than 1% of people can hear colors or see sounds. For example, this could happen as soon as someone hears a sound, they automatically see the color red, or as soon as they read a word, a certain color pops into their mind. About 33% of people experience motion sickness, and this 33% are highly susceptible to motion sickness, while the rest just experience it in extreme conditions. And it's caused when your brain starts to get signals from your body that it's moving, but they're mismatched and don't match up.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. When Apollo 11 landed, it only had 20 seconds of remaining fuel. 4 months ago, a deceased rapper by the name Gunu had his corpse on stage while fans were partying around his body. The average person wastes 5 months of their lives waiting for red lights to turn green. Cruise ships have morgues, just in case someone, during the trip. If you have red eyes after swimming, it's not from chlorine. It's from the chlorine mixing with other people's urine. The furthest part of the ocean from land is Point Nemo. If you get stuck there, you're not coming back. Sunburn are your cells dying to avoid being cancerous. Most laugh tracks and shows are people from the 50s, which means you're hearing the laughter of dead people. Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 14.
Mind-blowing things you probably have never noticed before. Tree branches, human lungs, tree of life, human plancet, river network, human blood vessels, tree stump, human fingerprint, grass, human hair, tree roots, human nervous system, thorn plant, human spine.
Stop brushing your teeth.
Stop brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth is bad. All right, let me explain. 99% of people in this generation use plastic toothbrushes. You may say, what is the problem with that? Plastic toothbrushes have nylon bristles, which contain microplastics. Every time you brush your teeth, millions of microplastic bits enter your system. This usually causes cancer and leads to a worse life. If you want to avoid this, then you can use a more natural alternative. What I recommend is using something called a Wax stick. This stick originated from nature and is a more natural and healthy way of brushing your teeth. It contains 0 microplastics and makes your teeth whiter in just a matter of days. I said way too much in this video. Now it is up to you to change your lifestyle habits. I better go now before they take me down for sharing this kind of information.
People that survived absolutely crazy events, part 1. This guy right here is Seth MacFarlane, and he is the writer of Family Guy. However, he came extremely close to death, and if he wasn't hungover, we wouldn't have the Family Guy we know and love. Seth MacFarlane was due to be getting on a plane heading for New York, the same plane Mark Wahlberg was due to go on. However, the night before he'd been drinking and was absolutely hammered, so hungover in the morning. He was so hungover he forgot he had a flight that day. His agent then called him and said, "You do realise the flight is at 7:45. He now sprang out of bed as quickly as he could, because the flight was now leaving in 45 minutes. But then of course he got stuck in traffic, and when arriving at the airport they said, "Sorry, boarding is closed, you've missed it." He begged and said, No, please let me on, you don't know how important this is." They said, "I'm really sorry, but you've missed it." And a while later, that plane that him and Mark Wahlberg would have been on went straight into the North Tower.
What's going on, ma'am?
I'm dying, that's what's up.
Irving Fire Department. Ma'am, are you still there? Ma'am, are you still there?
On January 1st, 2008, a heartbreaking 911 call was made by a girl screaming that her dad had just shot her. But tragically, Sarah and her sister Amina passed away before help arrived. After Yasser took the lives of his two daughters, he fled for 12 years. He was captured in 2020 and he's been in prison for more than 4 years. And now he finally gave his first interview where he basically denied everything. Throughout this entire interview, he did not seem regretful for what he did, and instead he tried to tell a different story and claimed that he was the victim.
You make it sound like you're the victim here. Is that what you believe?
Exactly.
You're the victim?
Yes.
And said that he was being framed because of a conspiracy. According to Yasser, the FBI and the media used this case to push a political agenda.
I want my voice to be heard. The FBI knows that. My case is being used to achieve cheap political points.
Cheap political points?
Yes.
You say the FBI knows that you are innocent?
They know that, and I will tell you why.
Let me ask you this. In your letters to the judge, right, you write, in my case, you could smell conspiracy in the atmosphere.
Yes.
So that's what this is about. Conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy.
Of course.
Creepy things found inside the ocean.
It's just a cigarette, and it cannot be that bad.
Honey, don't you love me, and you know it makes me sad.
It's just a cigarette, like you always used to do.
I was different then, I don't need them to be cool.
Terrifying True Facts That Will Keep You Up at Night, Part 2. Most people would consider ducklings to be relatively harmless and innocent creatures, but they can be more sinister than you might realize. When a group of ducklings starts to feel overcrowded, aggravated, or even just bored sometimes, they will often turn to cannibalism to solve their problems for them. This is a characteristic that they share with other animals we tend to regard as being cute, such as chickens and bunny rabbits. And speaking of cute, let's talk about babies. Up until the mid-1980s, doctors would routinely operate on infants without the use of anesthetics. This is because it was thought that babies couldn't experience pain. Also in the 1980s, CNN pre-recorded an ominous video meant to be published in the event of an end-of-the-world scenario. Comment if you think that video will be published during your lifetime, and follow for more.
This is why you never paddleboard out in the ocean.
you have it, reason 4,269, I'd ride cross-country on a bike with no seat, pause, before I'd go out into the open ocean. That is a nope of the highest order. Those are South American sea nettles, a species of jellyfish that can have a bell, you know, that umbrella-looking part, more than 3 feet across, to go with tentacles that can range anywhere from 3 to 10 feet long. And I don't think I even really need to tell you, but yeah, touching one of those can be really bad for your health. They use venom to paralyze prey, but it can also cause excruciating pain and a really bad rash if you get stung. And if you think that's bad, I got something even worse. This is what a jellyfish pool party in Peru looks like the devil's bubble bath. And guess what? This kind of thing, it's only gonna get worse. Because whether you want to believe in climate change or not, the more the Earth's thermostat gets turned up, the more the jellyfish start turning up on us. Since unlike most of the effery in the ocean, jellyfish actually do better in warmer waters with less oxygen. Especially since climate change means more CO2 means more algae blooms, and guess what likes to eat algae? And you don't have to be in the water to get rocked by jellyfish. There have been times where jellyfish swarms got so bad they dead for real caused power outages because they managed to clog the pipes of power plants. Now go ahead and add the fact that some jellyfish can spawn 45,000 eggs a day, especially if we're actively murking the things that eat them. Just another reason to save the turtles.
There's a particular set of rules that they say to follow if you ever encounter the paranormal. Like, for instance, if someone knocks on your door after midnight, you do not answer it. If the phone rings after midnight, you're not supposed to answer it. If something calls your name, it's said that if you respond, it could possess you. If you go to a funeral, and when you're leaving, you should never look back until you get home. If you were in a cemetery, and you should never step on the gravestones or in front of them. Also, if you're at a cemetery, when you drive past the cemetery gates, you should hold your breath. And when you leave a cemetery, always check your back seat. Now, when you're at home, you should never have a mirror facing the back. And you should never have 2 mirrors facing each other. It's also said that you should never, ever name a spirit in your home. You should never try and communicate with it, and you should never acknowledge it. So what do you think? What rules have you heard to protect yourself or keep yourself safe from the paranormal?
Your creepy neighbors are stealing everyone's dogs and yours just got taken. Let's talk about a disturbing horror game all about puppies, the Sickle family. Full playthrough of the entire game on my channel. The game actually starts with you exploring your dead brother's computer. He was a game developer working on lots of different projects and you can check them out yourself. Some of these are even a little bit disturbing. His latest project was something called the Sickle family. So you boot up the game and find this. It's a 2D side-scrolling horror game about a strange neighborhood. Your family keeps a dog in the backyard, but it doesn't look like it's being taken care of well. You catch someone trying to steal your dog, and apparently the same thing is happening to all of the other neighbors. What is the point of all of this, and what was our brother trying to say making this game? There's also one instance where you have to explore the PC to try to find a code you have to use in the game. Because the game within the game is unfinished, it's confusing.
This man crawled into a sewage pipe just to spy on women. In 1989, in Japan, a school teacher named Yumi Tanaka came face to face with the most horrifying discovery of her life. Around 5 in the evening, right before heading home, she decided to stop by the restroom. When she walked into a stall, something immediately seemed off. Inside the toilet bowl, she saw a single black shoe. Curious and confused, Yumi decided to take a closer look and peered down into the sewage tank. What she saw there burned itself into her memory forever. Inside the tank, there was a pair of human feet. Yumi screamed, and her co-workers rushed in to help. The police arrived soon after and confirmed that the feet belonged to a man who was trapped inside the tank. Getting him out was anything but easy. They had to call the fire department and use a crane to lift his body out. The victim turned out to be a 26-year-old man named Naoyuki Kano, and his body was covered in fleas. The cause of was hypothermia. He had been inside the pipes for 3 days, having climbed in there on his own to spy on women using the toilet.
That's why you shouldn't get close to this island. This patch of land in the Bay of Bengal is officially off limits, but one guy decided to film an extreme vlog and landed on the shore. He thought he'd just take a quick walk, shoot some footage and leave, but within just a few minutes he was spotted by a member of the wild tribe. Rumor has it this tribe are cannibals. At first the guy suspected nothing and kept going deeper into the jungle, but soon he felt that someone was following him. When he turned around, he saw a figure with a spear. He immediately started running, stumbling and falling, but the tribe member caught up with him. They tied the guy up and took him into the jungle. There they started speaking to him in an unfamiliar language, and after a few hours they forced him to record a video in which he warns people not to approach this island. Since then, no one has seen him again. Neither rescuers nor search parties found any trace of him.
ne va pas venir aujourd'hui. Donc je retourne à la maison.
Children Raised by Animals Part 1.
Ramachandra.
This boy was 12 years old and found by the Kawano River living an amphibious lifestyle.
Villagers was convinced that he was living among the lizards and amphibians around the river.
What's crazy is he walked on all four legs.
And his arms started to fuse together kinda like an amphibian. For example, like a newt paw.
Or even the legs of a turtle. It's crazy how the human body evolves. He was captured and taken by a near village, but he didn't like it. He didn't adapt well. He liked raw food and staying by the river. Sadly, he passed away when a woman got scared and saw him crawling near her and decided to throw boiling water on him. Rest in peace. Give this video a like for part 2.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
So I found these conspiracy theories that are so believable they actually might be true. Part 3. Number 1. The 40,000-pound Navy bomb. The US Navy detonated this 40,000-pound bomb in the ocean in Florida. Many people were concerned because the Navy stated that this was simply just an exercise. But others were certain that they were trying to kill a deadly threat in the ocean that we should not know about. I don't know. This exercise was at the coast in Florida. Doesn't seem like the right place for training. Number 2. Tupac Shakur is not dead. Every time a celebrity dies, people will try as much as they can to debunk the news. But Tupac's story is a little different. None of the suspects behind his murder were sent to prison. Suge Knight was a suspect, but the prime suspect was Orlando Anderson. And he was accused 2 years later, but he was already shot and killed as well. So we never got a real confession. The craziest thing is that Tupac's closest friend, Snoop Dogg, has stated himself that Tupac is alive. And he says it in a way where he's not supposed to expose the truth.
When Pac died, if he really did, you know.
If he really died. What do you mean by that?
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know. I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
Oh, there you go. Suge Knight, the man that was in the car with Tupac when he got shot, also said this.
This happened, that happened, right? Right. If you think about it, right? Right. Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they didn't want to kill Tupac?
Because they're snitching to the police, so they ain't gonna get arrested.
Not just to snitch and be smart, son. Because Tupac not
ain't
dead.
as smart as you should be.
Tupac not dead, If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You dead, If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he was somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar.
I don't know what the truth is, but if Tupac is alive, I think the whole world needs him back.
Hello, and welcome. I'm Sam Caffey, Freshman Academy Counselor.
How's it going? You got ID on you?
I'm all things freshman.
Is there any reason that the school counselor is meeting with a 15-year-old girl outside of school up in the middle of the woods?
We're here to support you, and ultimately our goal this year is to help you feel like you belong.
I have reason, yeah.
The former school counselor that you just saw in that video named Sam Caffey is a pedophile. And to this day, authorities in Washington are still looking for potential victims that may have been impacted by Sam's actions. So Sam was once a school counselor in Shelton, Washington, and according to these official documents, he was handed his Washington education certificate in July of 2016. Now, allegations against Sam started surfacing in 2023, as you can see in this document, but at first it stated that he was acting unprofessional with students. Now, this complaint alleged that in October and November 2022, Sam made inappropriate comments to a student, a female high school student, including but not limited to wishing they were the same age, asking her to wait for him until she graduated high school, telling her that he wanted her to kiss her, or telling her that he wanted to kiss her, and telling her that he wanted to marry her. Now, that's student A. As you can see in the document, student B was a 14-year-old female student at the high school, and in February of 2023, Sam began a romantic relationship with this minor. On Valentine's Day 2023, he gave this young girl 2 marijuana vape cartridges, and from February to April of that year, Sam raped that student continuously on Shelton High School grounds. On April 5th of 2023, Sam was found with that student in a wooded area, as you've seen in clips from that video I showed at the top. And at that point, after Sam was arrested, things really exploded. Multiple students would end up coming forward with allegations against Sam, some girls being extremely young, and Sam was married at the time, so he would talk to these young students about his impending divorce and the crumbling of his relationship, which is typically, according to documents, how he started off these relationships, getting these young children to trust him. And disturbingly, as you can see here, here is a newspaper article showing the new staff for the school year, which down here included Sam Caffey. There he is. Just last year in 2025, another former student came forward and made allegations against Sam, and I'm sure that there are more victims out there. So if you recognize this guy or you were groomed by this guy, please contact authorities, especially if you know anything about him or what he did.
Ooh, yes you, I'm talking to you. You got 5 seconds to name the most beautiful woman celebrity you know. Alright, go ahead, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, finish? You got it in your head? Well, let me tell you. Alright, finish? Well, let me tell you that the woman you named is nothing compared to the woman I got right behind me in this picture. Meet Aisha Kandisha. We're just calling her Kandisha, okay? So, hey, but bro, what the fuck is that? It's not a woman? Yeah, I can see that. She's a creature from Morocco. She is one of the most interesting and scariest ones. Trust me. Oh yeah, we were talking about Morocco, because everybody in Morocco know about the things she and the way she does it. If you remember well, I was talking about women. But why? Well, because Kandisha is a woman. Well, kind of. Okay, but why everybody is scared of her? I don't get it. Oh, because she can go from her original form to the most beautiful woman you ever see. Imagine with me a scenario that could happen. You're walking in the street, you saw a beautiful woman, you're just like, wow. So normally you want to talk to that girl, but the moment you approach, she... Hey yo, for real, that's your story? You can punch the hell out of her before even she moves. What you talking about? Now let me precise 2 things. When she drags you, it will be in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and mostly at night. Second, she is known for not having normal legs. Of the stories, she got goat leg. That means she's so fast. So now we know that she's so fast, she brings you in the dark, and it's her territory, the woods. The 3 things make it almost impossible to escape. That's what made her so popular in Morocco, and basically everybody was scared of her. What if you're not scared of her? What will happen then? Especially that everybody knew what was her weak point. It makes sense, think of it. When you're so problematic to someone, well, he'd find ways to bring you down. So people in Morocco, since she was so popular, knew that she has a weakness, and her only weakness is fire. Coming back to my question, what if somebody is not scared of her, plus he's holding fire? Her only weakness. Let me tell you that this has actually happened, and it's one of my favorite stories about her. But before that, you know what to do. Save this video, come back to it at night so it's more enjoyable like that. Right, here's the story. Listen close. So Kandisha was in the wood. Quick reminder, she lives there. Suddenly, from very far, she sees a weird light. You know Kandisha, she's very smart. She transformed to a beautiful woman just in case somebody was looking for her. So she keeps walking towards the light. Bad news, the weird light was actually fire. But wait, there's a guy around here. Yes, and he's surrounded by fire. She's so confused, like what the fuck a guy with fire is doing in her area? And I agree with her. Remember I told you, she's very intelligent. So, just in case, she keep her distance. So the guy saw her and immediately asked her, yo, you're Kandisha, right? She's so confused. She's like, hey, yo, what the fuck? He's coming to my area and asking me if I'm Kandisha. Is he crazy? So she tries to play smooth. He goes like, who the fuck is Kandisha? Guy, he know what he's doing. So he goes like, come on, man, stop the cap. I know that you are Kandisha. So menacing for her, she has no clue what to do. She goes like, this motherfucker's pissing me off. He comes to my area and put a pressure on me. He thinks he playing in reverse, that's it. Well, I'ma show him. So she goes like, what if I'm Kandisha? What you gonna do about it? This man is so brave. He goes like, actually, I have fire on me, so what you gonna do? Oh my god. Then he said, you know what? I'm not here to kill you, actually. So she's like, what? Actually, I'm here to find the truth. Actually, I don't believe in that bullshit they talking about, so do you really kill people? This is a very sensitive moment. Listen closely. She goes like, she responds, even if you knew the truth will actually change nothing. He insists because he knows that he's controlling the situation. So he goes like, man, if you don't tell me, I'm not leaving. It's your choice after all. I was like, oh my god, that motherfucker won't let me have peace unless I tell him. She responds, you know what? I'm telling the truth. He's like, okay, go ahead. Her story has so many details and historical facts that you need to focus to understand, okay? If you remember well, I was talking about Morocco. Well, it was for a reason. It's because Morocco and plenty of other countries were united. So they were so strong. They were so strong that they decided in year 711 to conquer both Spain and Portugal. Guess what? They succeeded. They called it Al-Andalus. Kandisha's family were living in this area. Quick history lesson. This was a religious war between Morocco, who was Muslim, and Portugal. I'm sorry, right here. Portugal and Spain, who were Christian. So the rest of Portugal and Spain was just this area, right? They knew if the things continue like that, they might be killed. Being Christians, they asked her from another Christian country who is from Al-Andalus area who are living their best life. So the Christians was like, hey, what are we doing? We need to get the land back. Guess what? After so many years of war, they succeeded. Those weren't good news for Kandisha's family. And that is why. The Christians got the land back. Muslims weren't getting the best treatment. Problem is, Kandisha's father, but he wasn't Muslim, so he only had two choices. Actually, three if you think about it. First option is you gonna stay as a Muslim, but you gonna leave Spain and come back to Morocco. The second option is you become a Christian and live in Spain. Third option, who is more of an obligation, you either choose between these two options. But the problem is, Kandisha's father didn't agree with any of those two options. He wanted to stay as a Muslim and stay in Spain, which was not possible. So they decided to take him, his wife, and Kandisha's sister, and they burned them in front of everybody. Remember Kandisha's weakness was fire? He is scared of fire because she has a child trauma when she seen her family burn. Remember the guy, the one who's listening to the story? He goes like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Hey, hold on, I'm not finished. He somehow survived and came back to Morocco. She tells him, and yes, I kill people, but not all of them. The guy was like, oh yeah, what you mean? She responds by very shocking information. She said, you know what? I only killed Portuguese soldiers during the war. He goes like, why do you keep Portuguese soldiers? Historical fact, Morocco and Portugal once had a problem. They had a conflict. So Portugal soldiers were in the Moroccan territory, and she used to in the wood by transforming into a beautiful wood. So he goes like, okay, that's where the come from. Yeah, exactly. Guy is pretty much shocked by what he heard. So he goes like, she only cared to protect her country, and I gotta trust her. He goes like, you know what? I trust you, and I'm sorry for having fire in front of you. He was like, let me just turn off the fire. He did turn off the fire. Oh, I forgot to ask you, where the goat legs come from? Unfortunately, you never get the answer. Why? She him. That's crazy, but it leads us to two possibilities. The first, she didn't want her secret to be told to everybody. The second possibility, she invented the whole story just so he can trust her and turn the fire off so she can... What do you think?